Hi, this is yesterday's Moose production, and we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Deluxe Paint 4 for the Amiga. This is an animation in progress. I have not used this software since the 90s, maybe a little bit in the 2000s. Yes, definitely some in the 2000s, give or take. Basically, I'm going from memory. There will be some mistakes. As you can see here, I accidentally drew over my initial drawing with a line that I now have to get rid of. The process of getting rid of it is fairly simple. You just have to replace the black there with white. And I should have used a straight line to do that, but for some reason I decided to use the drawing tool. I'm doing the commentary after the fact because I had some difficulties recording this. I broke it up into segments, and something happened in the second segment, but you'll see when that happens, and I'll comment on it then. Stay tuned. I'm going to start doing this on a regular basis. I really didn't want to have to do this, but like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. If you like what I do, if you like these videos, Let's Play videos, or me doing animations in outdated animation software known as Deluxe Paint 4, or if you want to see interesting little tidbits about games, or karaoke, or whatever else I decide to throw on this channel. Live action, fan made films. I still want people to watch the Seinfeldinator. And of course, the animation that inspired what I'm doing right now. The entire reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is because I am making a director's commentary of my animation that I made. And I decided that I would have a little introduction where I explain what's going on. And what I will do is I'm going to take this face. I will take this face that I'm designing right now and animate it to talk for me in the intro. So it's going to be pretty much like the original animation, except in high def, which will be very weird. I'm doing this on emulation because I no longer have my Amiga 1200, unfortunately. I really could have fixed the problem that I was having with it. It was very simple, but at the time, I did not think of that. I did not really know that I could find a solution. Only years later did I find the solution. Basically, it would have been a connection to the video out to go to the TV. That's pretty much it. Nevertheless, I'm back. Deluxe Paint 4. You can't beat me. I love this animation software. This came before MS Paint, and I think MS Paint totally ripped it off. The only thing that they didn't do is carry over the animation. Basically, this is like very ancient Photoshop or some sort of pixel generation generating art software, because that's what this is especially for, is this kind of artwork. I think that the Sega Genesis even used it as a designing software. At least some games probably did, because they seem to have the same style of pixels and the same number of color palette. It just looked exactly like that. However, Deluxe Paint, you can have really amazing pictures. Like they have an example where they have King Tut's golden face thing, whatever it was. And it's basically like a scan of a picture almost. So it's deep detail, a lot of different colors, the gradients across the entire picture is very detailed, and the pixels are quite small, but you can still tell that it's pixels, even though it looks semi-photo accurate. Now, thanks to emulation, I was able to make a supercomputer. I went into the options and bumped it up to the maximum settings. So I think that's an Amiga 1200 with 8 megabytes. It might even be 8K for all I remember. But it's 8 something of RAM, which I don't think I ever had. I might have had 2 or maybe 4, maybe. When I made animations, it was 300 frames. What would that be? Yeah, that's 30 seconds. Maybe 450, maybe 500 if I was lucky. It really depended on how much detail was in the pictures. Each individual animation cell takes up only as much data as you put into it. So if it's a blank screen, doesn't take up much data. But if it's super detailed, yeah, that's going to take up a lot of detail. So if you make an animation that's really detailed, yeah, you're going to get 300, 350 frames if you're lucky. But if you're doing something really simple and it's just a static image, then you could get away with maybe 500. But since I pumped this up so ridiculously, I have 6,300 frames. Thank you very much, which is awesome. I'm going to probably lose some of that in the development process. I'm pretty sure because I haven't started animating yet. It's just this single frame with the face on it, and then the rest of the frames are just blank white canvases. So some of those frames will no doubt go away as I proceed. I'd be surprised if I still have the same amount at the end. And I still might have to break it up into segments, which with the emulator will be pretty easy, I think. Now, the reason I was mentioning how long it'll play for is because I'm animating at 10 frames a second, because that's what I was able to get away with before. If I made 300 frames and then put it at 24 frames a second, I'm not going to get anything done. So I knocked it all the way down to 10. So now with this new animation, it's still going to be at 10 frames a second because it has to match the style of the previous one. I might even go about like recording it. See how the way I'm looking at it right now, it's really fuzzy because I'm looking at it in my editing software. Now I might just do that as like a filter to make it look all fuzzy like it did before. But I kind of want it to look really sharp because if I could, I'd go back and make the original look really sharp. I don't know. I'm really stuck on how I want it to look. Even the original one, I'm stuck on. Like, would it really be better if it was sharper? The reason why it looks so funny is because I recorded it off of a VCR. But then at the end of the day, because it softened the image so much, it kind of softened out some of the harsher details, which didn't click so much. And also, it makes it look like it's a really old animation from back in the day. The only thing it lacked was weird jump cuts and odd skips and cigar burns and those sorts of things. Now, as you can see, this is going to be me, and I'm giving myself a ridiculous chin because, again, I want this to look not good. It must look like it was drawn bad and hastily. Therefore, I have a ridiculous chin and funny ears. Now I'm just going to speed things up a little bit here. And we're going at 4 times speed. I think I might keep it like this from now on. Reason is because it takes a long time to draw these pixel art, this pixel art. I was not happy with the ear shape. I'll just go ahead and fix that. By the way, if my commentary seems a little bit weird, it's because I had to re-record it. Things were out of sync. And instead of messing around with editing for the next million hours, I just went ahead and started re-recording. Enough about that. What I want to do is copy this color over here, but for some reason it doesn't seem to be working. I'll just try again. I won't copy it, I'll just alter the shading of that one existing color. I won't copy a color to another color, I'll just use a different color and then modify it, if that makes any sense. Reason is because I want to have that part of the ear that leads to the brain. It's okay so far, but my chin is ridiculously long. I look like the Joker from the Batman animated series. Look at my chin, Batman! Yeah, pretty ridiculous. I want to shorten it. It's still going to be exaggerated, but not as much. Now I'll just go ahead and add some stubble. I don't really miss having normal hair. It's nice to have short hair for summer. It's much cooler. Now that looks all right, but I don't have a widow's peak. I'm not Bela Lugosi. I don't want to suck your blood. Even though technically Bela Lugosi as Dracula never said that. It's just something people misremembered or a comedy thing. But let's go ahead and give myself some eyebrows. Not like that. I'm just going to draw a line like so. I'm not Homer Simpson. That's too yellow. Dial it down a bit, make it more normal. I mean, you can't really have blonde hair with this color palette, but we can at least try to be as close as possible. I also want to make my lips a little bit bigger, more cartoony. They have to be expressive. If I'm going to be talking during this animation, I have to have large, expressive lips. Like those wax lips that you put on your face. Now I just want to center it. I'm not sure if it's centered. I'm still not entirely 100% sure that it's centered, but it's all right. Let's just go ahead and start with the mouth. In the next video, we'll pick up with creation of the mouth. And with that, we'll just go ahead and end the video here. So thank you very much for watching. This has been a Yesterday's Moose production, and I'll see you next time.